Hello, this is the Timeless Tarot, and today's reading is going to be a love reading for the sign of Aquarius. It's going to be for the next 4 to 6 weeks and will take in all of the festive period and the holidays. So I've laid out a spread. Let's go straight to the bottom of the deck. And we have good news. We have the Chariot, and the Chariot is the card of getting ready to move. You might have made a plan to move. Move what, I wonder? Let's have another look underneath and see. Right, I'm going to take, there's 2 more here. Now I've got 3 more, hang on. Okay, I've ended up taking 4 cards from underneath. So we have the Chariot, Strength, 4 of Cups, and 2 of Pentacles. I feel really strongly that some of you have been in a 2-year cycle and you're trying to move yourself out of or beyond or through a 2-year cycle. There's something that you've been struggling with and it's feeling like you can't get what you want in terms of love. That could be literal or it could be figurative. It could be saying that there's literally nobody for you, or that's how you feel. Or it could be saying that the person you want you can't have. Now, I'm not sure which currently, but what I can tell you is that it's been hard going. You've struggled with this feeling of not being able to get what you want. You've been struggling with that for the last 2 years. That really feels like a thing, I have to say. Oh dear. So you're trying, in effect, you're trying to move yourself out of the state of not having what you want. Now, is that because you're trying to get what you want? Or is that because you're trying to get the person that you want? You see, it could be that there are people available that are offering their cup of love, but you don't want them. You're not interested in them. Could be that your mind or your eye is on somebody else. It's like you can't even see the offers. Yeah, because the person you want you can't have. Or, like I said before, it could just be that you don't feel like there's anybody available. The Chariot is the card of guided movement. And what that means is you're being shown the way to move beyond the situation that you're currently in, but you're not actually moving yet. To me, it feels a bit like you're not moving yet because you can't face the fight, is what it feels like to me. In some decks, the Chariot is a carriage. What do you call it? It's some sort of vehicle that's not moving. In this deck, the Chariot, it doesn't look like a vehicle. It's a man with a sword. It's still guided. You can see there's a star there. He's still being guided. But I think in this deck, the Chariot and Strength together both look like they're warriors to me. Very much so. The swords are very much in evidence. So you can't get what you want. You've been in a 2-year cycle. And I think you're in this cycle because you don't want the battle that goes along with it. To get out of it. If that is to get a certain person, you're not really geared up for the fight that's going to involve, is one way of looking at it. Or if it's because you can't find anybody, it's like the fight has gone out of you, more or less. Yeah, I think so. So take it whichever way it works for you. And also do tell me in the comments if it's a slightly different variation that I haven't quite covered. Because, you know, there's lots of people with different situations going on. But the overall feeling is that you've been stuck in a 2-year cycle of not being able to have the person that you want or not being able to find the person that you want. And you're starting to lose the will, I think. The fight has gone out of you here. I know, I feel that very strongly from those cards, but I can definitely say that's true from this card here in the centre. It's the 9 of Wands, it's the wounded warrior. You've had enough now. You literally can't take any more. The wounded warrior, and I was just talking about the Chariot and Strength being warriors, and the 9 of Wands is the wounded warrior. Feels like you're giving up the fight, or you've got no more fight. It's not really a case of being defeated. It's more a case of just not knowing how to progress, I think. You just don't know how to do it. You're not giving up per se, but it's good that you are now receiving some sort of guidance because you need it. That, yeah, you've lost the will, really. Now, what is crossing the Nine of Wands, which is a bit of a strange thing, because what would be stopping you from being the wounded warrior? Well, not having had the fight yet, maybe, but otherwise it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. What's crossing the wounded warrior situation is the Fool. So, the Fool is a card of taking a leap of faith. It's being careless, carefree. You know, do you know what I think? I think, see, here the Fool is carrying a rose. And I think, yeah, you don't know how to proceed with a certain situation because you're waiting for somebody to show you how they feel. I think so. And for whatever reason, this person has not done it yet. Yeah, that's what it feels like. Well, let's get a clarifier, see if we can get an idea of who it is you're waiting for. Why have we got the Fool crossing the Nine of Wands? Yeah, I just knew it. Just knew we would have a slow energy coming out. And this is the Page of Pentacles. Somebody with a solid offer, small but solid offer to make, has not been making it yet. You're waiting. You're waiting for a slow energy, for somebody to offer you something real, something tangible, a relationship. See, if you've had a fling with somebody, you're waiting for them to offer you a relationship. Or maybe you've been in an on-off relationship for a long time. In this case, then you would be waiting for, I don't know, an engagement, or waiting for somebody to make you a solid, concrete offer to do with love. That's what it feels like. That's what you're waiting for. And it's a slow energy. It should have come in by now, because the Fool is carefree. So on the one hand, your person wants to jump right in, but on the other hand, they are trying to weigh up the options and they're slow about it. I guess it could be the other way around. It could be that you are the Fool and you're trying to weigh up your options as to how to proceed with the situation. Possibly. We'll see. On the face of things, we have the High Priestess. Your intuition is firing on all cylinders, but it's quiet. You're not speaking to them. They're not speaking to you. This has been going on for a couple of years. I think there's been, maybe it's 2 years since the whole thing started, and currently everything is quiet. You're in a period of waiting. I think you are. You know you're in a period of waiting. This song, Stuck on You. I got a feeling down deep in my heart. Yeah, I'm on my way. Yeah, stuck on you. That's what she feels like. She feels like she's stuck on someone. Really waiting for inspiration and or guidance to know how to progress forward with this. The thing is this, if you're waiting on somebody else, you could be waiting for a very long time. This is a very slow energy. It's also a very young energy. Well, and so is the Fool. The person you're waiting for might literally be younger than you, or they might really not have enough experience to know how to deal with this situation. Feels like it could be. Stuck on you, stuck on you. Got a feeling down deep in my soul I just can't hide. Now I'm on my way. Lionel Richie, I think. Might be worth looking up the words of that song. We're really stuck on someone, but it's a mutual thing. You're stuck on each other, I think. You're stuck on them and they're stuck on you. This, you know, this is a page, but he's got real intensity here. What's underpinning the situation is the Wheel of Fortune. Well, this is good news. Things are moving forward. Well, they should be, because we've started off with the Chariot, which is guided movement. We now have the Wheel of Fortune, which is fortunate movement, a really positive energy, and also much more self-propelling than the Chariot. Once the wheel starts turning, it's going to keep going till it gets to its destination. So this is lovely to find underneath. So possibly you don't feel this energy yet, or you've not seen any evidence of things shifting yet, but I believe they will. And we have with it the Ace of Pentacles. Well, like I was saying before, that could be an engagement. We also have the moon, and the moon is 4 weeks. This reading is for 4 to 6 weeks. I think this energy here is currently hidden from you. If somebody is deciding what to do to make a move, either you or the other person, you don't know about it yet. And if it's you who needs to make the move, you're not sure about it yet. It's unclear. The moon is a very unclear energy. But combining it with the Ace of Pentacles, it's a, you know, this is a big deal. This is a big, big deal. I think the Ace of Pentacles trumps the moon here, really, because we've got the, well, especially with the Wheel of Fortune. Whatever the small offer is that you're waiting for, it could just be that you want to have a conversation, a real conversation. And maybe that's not happened yet. But I think it will. And the reason why I think it will is because there's such potential here. There's potential for wealth. I mean, serious wealth. This is a big money card, and this is a fortunate energy. I'm not sure you can see that. There is currently no evidence of that. But that is what's going to happen. There's something about this partnership that could generate a lot of wealth, I think. A lot of wealth. It's sort of, I don't know, like you're sort of been merged. I think you've got energies that have merged together, and that's why you're stuck on each other. And it's guided, but it's currently not moving. And everything is very quiet. The moon is very quiet. The High Priestess is very quiet. Nobody's saying anything to anyone. But that is going to change because we've got the Wheel of Fortune. Wow, and it's definitely changing for the better because the Ace of Pentacles. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. I actually feel like you're deserving this, and I feel a little bit like crying. This feels like it's been sort of monumentally difficult for you. It feels like it's been so hard, and things are finally shifting. Now, it could be things are finally shifting because Pluto has just entered Aquarius this week or last week. So it could be that things are finally shifting forward with that shift up in the heavens. In the past, we have death. And the reason I think we have death in the past, I mean, death is a big change, an inevitable change. The reason why I think death is in the past is because I think one of you had to put some distance between the pairing. And it had to be. There had to be a distance between the pairing because it wasn't going the way it should have. And so you've had this 2-year cycle. It might have started off very exciting, and then it just died a death. There was no option. It had to die a death because it was not progressing the right way. And I think that's why at the start we've got this, you feeling like the wounded warrior. I think maybe you had to end something or the other person did. And I think both of you understand why. And I don't think either of you are holding a grudge. I just think it was an inevitable thing. It couldn't sustain itself the way it started. Now, I don't know why I'm saying that. So it could be that there's something fundamentally difficult about the pairing. Maybe it's going to upset other people. And so you've had to have a period of time without each other in order to work out, I think, whether or not it's worth the fight. Do you remember at the start I said it felt like the fight had gone out of you, you know, gearing yourself up for a battle? Yeah, I think that is part of it. I think there's been a fight to reconcile, and so it was probably easier to separate. However, it's not been easy separated. It's not, well, you did separate, but it's not been easy for either of you, I don't think, because we've got a shared energy in the future situation. So I think this is, if you found it difficult, I think the other person has too. Right, well, 2 cards just literally fell out, and we have the Empress and Justice. Well, you see, it's interesting because let's just talk about justice for a minute. The 6 of Pentacles is the minor arcana of justice, which is the card of equality and getting what you're owed, really. So you've got this twice. I wonder, I think the feminine chose to separate the connection because it was not giving her what she wanted. That's what it feels like. So I'm going to put those in the past. And let's see what we've got for the 6 of Pentacles in the future. So if that was the past position, then the future, it looks like you're trying to get a more even balance on things. 7 of Pentacles. This is a card of waiting for things to happen, really. Or almost waiting for things to come good, I would say. Waiting for things to come good. Yeah, and underneath there, we've got the 5 of Wands. This, yeah. I think the energy here is one of waiting to see what is going to happen regarding other people. I think there were other people getting in the way of this connection being the way it should have been, and I think that's why there was a separation. And I think one of you is waiting to hear what you can do about the other people. I feels quite strongly like you're waiting for a conversation, actually, is what it feels like to me. Waiting for some sort of conversation to work out how to bring this connection back together the way it should be. And I don't think it's straightforward. I think it is something that you both want, but I don't think it's straightforward at all. In the personal position, we have the King of Swords. This is a card of, well, it's clear thinking. I think maybe you're gaining some sort of insight with the Chariot here. It's also, you could be cutting yourself off from something. It's also Aquarian energy. So in a personal way, you're thinking like yourself, I think. I wonder if perhaps maybe for a while you weren't really in your best energy. Well, this is a good sign to show that you are now back in your clear thinking, decisive energy. I think so. Let's get a clarifier for that. Oh yeah. Ace of Swords, definitely clear thinking now. Very, very definitely. Ace of Swords is the card of victory, triumph. Really wanted to say the triumph of good over evil then. Now that's interesting, isn't it? Why did I want to say that? Maybe there's been opposition to this partnership from people who don't really, from people who don't really have the right to oppose it, it feels like. If I'm saying the triumph of good over evil, let's say, for example, this pairing is good, then what would be evil would be the other people. So it feels to me like there's going to be some sort of victory over the problem then. Let's call them the problem rather than the other people. So the problem that was keeping the two of you apart, I think, is going to be vanquished. That's what it feels like. And that's partly down to some clear thinking by you, but also, I think, to some decisive action by your person. That's what it feels like. There's going to be some decisive action. I said at the start, they're taking their time. This is a slow energy, but I think things have sped up. I think they're seeing things more clearly. And I think there's going to be some decisive action coming your way. And if that's the case, things will move forward without too much more of your effort, really. In the home position, we have the 7 of Rods. I think there's been resistance at home. I think this is where the other people are. So this could talk about trying to merge 2 families, or it could talk about one person separating from a partner or children or something like that. That's where the problem lies. The problem has been at home. There's been some sort of resistance to change at home, and I think that is perhaps what the Chariot is referring to. The fact that you need to make a change at home in order to get things moving. In the hopes and fears position, and I think this is the crux of the matter, we have a twin flame connection. So if you're hoping to come back into connection with a twin flame, I think there's a good chance that will happen. There is no fear here, really. If this isn't a twin flame, then this is a celebration. Let's get a clarifier for the 4 of Wands. Yeah, there's a lot of cards to do with battle here. We've got a lot of swords. This is the Knight of Swords now. So we've got the King and the Knight of Swords, and we've already talked about the Chariot and strength looking like warriors. We've got a lot of cards here to do with battling and war. So it feels to me like you're both gearing yourself up for the battle that is going to come about to do with bringing this union together. I think so. The outcome, well, couldn't get better. The Star. It's wishes coming true. I took 2 other cards to come with it, and we have the 8 of Cups, that is leaving something behind, and the Page of Swords, which is communication. I think your wish was coming true when you met the person from the past that you can't stop thinking about. The person that you're stuck on, that was your wish coming true, but you had to leave that connection. But I think there's going to be communication coming in. It's either that or you're just wishing to just leave everything behind you. Don't forget, at the start we had the wounded warrior, and it is the feeling of like throwing the towel in, like you've had enough. And that does go along really with the 8 of Cups. It's a similar sort of feeling, like you can't win. Well, to be honest, I think you can win. I think you feel like you can't win. Feels like you can't have your wishes coming true, and so you've given up. And then what happens? Communication comes in. I think this is very much an ongoing situation. If it hasn't been, if you are looking to find somebody and you're hoping to meet a twin flame or a strong soul connection, then you are going to, and that wish is coming true. Yeah, it's a slow moving night. And it's a battle, yeah. It's just what I was saying before. There's a battle going on here. I think the slow moving knight is going to be getting in touch. I think perhaps either one or both of you decided it could not be, you could not be together because there was going to be a battle involving other people, and neither of you wanted to take that route. But this slow moving knight now is approaching. I believe he's approaching. Because you see, sometimes when I read the 5 of Swords, I read it as a 3 and a 2, and that is choosing heartbreak. And so I think he has no option but to come forward now because he's chosen heartbreak. The business of being apart from you has broken his heart, and he's chosen that. And now I don't think he wants to choose that anymore. He wants to come forward with a solid offer. That's what that feels like to me. Wow. I hope so. Is there anything else we need to know? The Aquarius love reading. Knight of Rods. He is now a man of action. Yeah. Wow. It's the same man, I believe. Oh, and here we are. King of Rods. Wow. Yeah. He's very become decisive. So if this reading is coming at it from your perspective, where you are the person who needs to move something forward, I believe now you're coming into some decisive energy. And I think you're stepping up to make the changes and to bring this connection about. If you are the person who has stepped back and sort of given up, then I believe you're going to have an offer coming in from somebody who you're waiting to hear from. Wow, how exciting. Well, I hope you enjoyed this reading, Aquarius. Please like and subscribe so that I can read your energy more easily, which will help me to do more accurate readings for you and your situation in the future. And if you would like a personal reading, my information is in the description box below. But until the next time, this has been the Timeless Tarot. Goodbye.